I'm meeting with Elif Aiken and Asia Dutson of the Divorcee Cafe, and they're a fellow meetup group. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, just
Kinda,
like
yeah.
yeah. See, I have a meetup group, and I kind of came across Elif in the course of talking to her about dealing with life during and post-divorce. And then since that time, Elif and Asia have put together this Divorcee Cafe, which is a meetup group you can find on meetup.com. Is that correct?
We haven't actually gotten to meet up yet.
Okay, I'll
That's
start that
being
over.
developed, yes.
Okay.
All right. I thought you guys were on it.
No, we're Facebook.
Facebook. Okay. I'm meeting today with Elif Aiken and Asia Dutson of the Divorcee Cafe, and you are on Facebook at the moment.
Yes.
Soon to be moving into other platforms as well. And so, is it just let's look up Divorcee Cafe?
On Facebook and also divorceecafeconversations.com.
Excellent. And so, tell us a little bit about what it is and why it exists.
Well, the Divorcee Cafe kind of came into being because I was looking to break into the coaching business to help divorcees, and people said, well, where does everybody go? And I said, well, you know, there isn't a Divorcee Cafe where everybody goes and hangs out. My friends were like, well, why don't you make one? I said, oh, I guess I could. So we hold the Divorcee Cafe at the 7th and 7th Street Studios at 645 East and 700 South. The first Wednesdays of every month, all day long, from 9 to about 7 o'clock.
9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Oh.
all day
That-
long.
That is commitment.
And people come, facilitators come, and they hold space. And the facilitators are lawyers, financial analysts, wellness, nutrition, energy workers, coaches,
Real estate agents.
real
Yeah.
estate agents, anybody who could help someone transition into their new life is holding
Right.
space. And the nice thing is that they're holding space for free. And we put out a calendar each month of who the facilitators are and what they're going to be holding space for and the time, so that you can take a look at the calendar and mark which time you want to come and check it out, and then you can pop over during your lunch break or
Yeah,
each day.
You said free. Does that mean there's a cover charge?
No,
No.
it's free.
Okay, so it's
No,
free,
it's-
free.
It's
It is.
free.
What?
It's a resource, basically. It's a resource pool for people to feel comfortable to come in, and we have it at the length that it is so that it works with your schedule, so that you can meet people
That's
as you're
That's
looking for a
very
resource.
generous. I mean, yeah, the fact that it would be from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is so sensitive to the schedules of older parents, younger parents, people who have jobs, people who don't. I mean,
And even
that's
people who
really-
haven't even stepped into divorce.
Yes.
So we wanted to have a place where it was free, so that you wouldn't have a record of it.
Yes.
So that if you needed information,
well
then you
thought
could
out.
come and you could get support and feel loved and have a cup of tea and have something sweet to eat, and you could meet 5 or 6 different facilitators, and you can stay as long as you want and get whatever information you need, and you can make follow-up appointments on your own.
You know, and a lot of times people want to, before they ever step into the divorce process, they want to just be able to talk about it or process something, maybe with a different group than their circle that they're very used to, like family or the best friend or something. And so it's like,
Not the
here's
easiest
the
subject
place.
to warm
It's
to with your
really
friends and
not.
family.
No, it's not.
But
and
with
then you might hear
strangers-
the same. It's a little easier to be very raw, authentic, and say, hey, look, this is what I'm considering. And it doesn't even mean I'm going to step into it, but it means I might. I just would like to have a space where I can talk about it or get more information. And so that's part of it. And then if you're in the middle of your divorce and you just need to have some support, or post-divorce. I mean, there are things that come up after your divorce that you really didn't have any idea were
Whether
gonna
they are
happen.
legal problems or
Correct.
personal in nature, there's a lot of things that you don't anticipate after the ink is dry on the decree. I
Right.
agree completely.
Right.
And sometimes when you file for divorce, you don't know what you don't know. So if you see the list of facilitators that are there for that month, you go, wow, I didn't think I needed a financial an analyst. So why would I need one? Maybe I need to go and check that out.
Mhm.
And I don't have to invest any money in that.
I just assumed I was going to stay in the house. Now I find out my spouse wants to sell it. I just
Right.
assumed the kids were going to want to live with this parent or that parent. Now that doesn't seem to be the case. I didn't think that my kids would get into crime or drugs or things like that after we told them that there was going to be a divorce. But one of our kids is just in a tailspin. All of those sorts of things. And it is, like you say, Asia makes a great point, is that it is much easier to go with a group, especially when you know that they're all touched by divorce in some way,
Exactly.
whether it be before, during, or after. And they're people that you're not going to see again unless you want to. So
Right.
you can be, that sense of kind of quasi-anonymity allows you to talk more freely, and then maybe get to the point where you can work up to speaking with your friends and
Mhm.
family.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of tested it, you've seen how it was received, some of your worst fears are not confirmed, and you can open up, having opened up to that group,
Mhm.
it's easier to go talk to the people that you spend more time with.
And those that are offering services, sometimes there's regulars and it changes so it's okay to, it's once a month, and it's okay to come in every month. If there's somebody you don't really resonate with, you can come back and see if there is somebody, or there's someone that you really do make connections with, then you can exchange information and you can take it further.
I've got a meetup group, which of course, yeah, I'd be a little disappointed if somebody were a loyal member for years and years, because I think we haven't done our job then, because we're there to help you be, mine's divorce preparedness, but it's about you, of course. But the idea is the same, right?
It is.
We're here for as much help as can be offered, no more, no less.
Mhm.
We're not going to be upset if you stop coming. Oh, we missed you at the last one. Well, if it was missed because we really thought this was a subject you'd like, or this was one of the facilitators that we really thought would benefit you, that's missing somebody,
Mhm.
but not a sense of we keep attendance.
No, and
It's
the nice thing
absolute.
that we would like to offer is, business preparedness. Maybe if you're in the process of thinking about getting divorced and you want to start your own business, then come and meet with someone who's going to hold space about website design or business or entrepreneurship. Then you can talk to them, okay, now what happens when I transition from being married to being divorced and being on my own as an entrepreneur? How do I do that? How do I navigate that on my own? So it doesn't always have to be about the actual divorce process. It's about life after.
Right.
Absolutely. And
Things that divorce touches.
there's so many resources out there that we're open to even new ideas. And so if there's an idea out there, if there's a service out there, somebody's found a niche, found something that they think is, that has really helped them, by all means, that's something that can be shared on our Facebook page, Divorcee Cafe. That's something that can be talked about in conversation on the on our website. It's also something that can be shared once a month when we're holding space too. So it's really flexible in that there's a lot that can be received and given.
Do you find people trying to monopolize some of the facilitators though, where somebody will wear out his or her welcome?
Not so much.
That hasn't
no.
been our experience.
We had one person who came in with a very distinctive divorce scenario, and she benefited from 6 people all kind of talking and bouncing ideas and asking her questions, and she spent 5 hours at the cafe from 10 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and left with an action plan of what she could do to get information, and feeling supported because now she knew that she had people she could talk to, and she felt a little bit more in control.
This almost sounds too good to be true, so why don't you tell people a little bit about what goes into it? Because there's a lot of work that they don't see.
Oh, yes.
And I think a lot of people might say, what's the catch? I mean, are there people with their hands out? Are they going to be pushing, health and wellness shakes and supplements? Are they going to be handing out business cards? I mean, how does this possibly work? Because I know there's going to be some people that think there's got to be a catch. And I don't want people to have the mistaken impression. So explain to them how this works. Why do you do this? And how does this work?
When I was going through divorce, I felt alone. I have no family here, and I didn't know where to go. So I wanted to create a space of support that I would have wanted when I was going through divorce. Something that felt safe, that felt secure, that I felt supported, that I knew that I would get the information that I wanted. And after talking to many people who had gone through divorce, they also had wished that they had someplace they could go where they didn't feel tied down because they spent their $2,500 on their lawyer and he's horrible, and now they are afraid to go out. If you had a place where you could go to meet people and kind of vet them, then it would make you feel a little bit more secure. And I have a huge network of facilitators and associates, and I just ask them. I put out the call every month. I said, who's going to come and hold space? And they know that it's for free, and they're offering their time because they've been touched by divorce, and they know how hard it is, and they want to give back. And it's a complete give back, and the only business cards that go out are if the person asks
Is
for
Asks
it.
for them.
Right,
So
it's
you're
all
never,
voluntary.
and there's no sense of being obligated. Oh, I was
No.
here for 5 hours. I guess I have to
Oh,
ask.
no.
Yeah.
No.
No, I mean, really, divorce has got a dynamic all of its own. And so when it shows up for a person, however it's gonna show up, you know, it's nice to know that you're not alone. And I had the same experience. I felt very alone. I felt like I really couldn't express a lot about what I felt was my experience of divorce. And so I really just felt like I was hacking through the jungle with a machete, and sometimes it felt like a table knife. And it would have been nice, I think, had I known that there was a resource. And it's not to say that there isn't, it's just that she and I saw a place that there was a need, and this is what is developing.
And again, not to sound like a broken record, but you don't have to make a reservation.
No.
You don't have to sign up in advance. It's not limited. Obviously, at some point, you might exceed the capacity of the building, but that hasn't
Right.
been the situation yet. You can drop in when you want between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Stay as long or as little as you like. And then, if people do stay a while, are there places to eat? Can they get something to eat? Just tell them a little bit about what the actual space looks like and feels like.
Well, the actual space and feels like a home. So it's a converted Victorian that is a collaborative healing center. And so you come in and you actually feel at peace. So that's one of the reasons why we hold it there. And you can come in and get tea. And I always have a pot of Turkish tea going on. You can get herbal tea. I do Turkish coffee. And I usually have plenty of baklava. So
It's just something nice and sweet.
How close is it to a place if somebody wanted to show up in the morning and then break for lunch?
it's right in a block away from Trolley Square.
That's right by Trolley Square. There's food
so-
places there. Now, also in the evenings, if there are people that want to actually stay, there is a group, there's an opportunity to have what we want to call a discussion group or a circle group. And so from 5:30 to 7 or 5 to 7, depending on it, there are questions that can be aired, and we can actually focus on particular things. And as that develops, then the last 2 hours of the evening are going to be dedicated to that particular discussion group, and that would be something that we would encourage people to sign up for, so we know how many to
And they know,
expect.
and then you publish that on the page.
That would be on the page, and they
Or
would
on
know
the
about that.
Facebook and or the
Absolutely.
Facebook, so that
Yeah.
people can know about that. And that would mean that it would end at 5:30.
No, that
Unless
means-
you're part of the
That's
discussion
correct.
group. So somebody might say, oh, well, I was gonna hang out a little longer, but I don't wanna be part of the discussion group.
Right.
That's when their time.
And there would be notification up,
Right.
if they showed up and said, hey, this is what I want to do, and we'd say, you know what, join our discussion group, that starts at 5:30.
Or if you're not joining the discussion group, remember that guy is gonna leave in the next 20 minutes, so
That's
get your
right,
time in.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it's hard to believe such a thing exists, because it's as though you looked at every need that people going through divorce would have, and then just said, we will grant that wish without there being an expense, without there being a loyalty oath, all those things. And yet the dynamic works, because that new blood passing through helps to make it worthwhile for you, and lets people know that you can come as much or as little as you want or need. All right.
Right.
One more time then, for people that didn't catch it at the beginning, where can they find you on Facebook, and where can they find you on the web?
You can find us on Facebook at the Divorcee Cafe, and on our website is divorceecafeconversations.com.
Thanks again for coming, and we hope that you will have a chance. I am not a sponsor. I don't have any interest in this. I just found out about it and wanted these ladies to come and talk to you about it. But I think it's a wonderful thing. And if you are looking for answers, if you have some questions, this is a great way to dip your toe in and find out just exactly how good or how much or how little of this help you might need. And I would encourage you to do that. Thanks again for coming and
Thanks
sharing
for
some
having
time
us.
to make this video. So who's manning? I guess you're not doing it today. So there's no Divorcee Cafe
No,
today.
not
it's
today.
the first Wednesday of every month.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes.
It's the first Wednesday of every month between
Yes.
9 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Yes.
Excellent. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us.